All right, ready, set. Okay, so I'm going to start. I like starting in the granny flat because it's a nice, easy building. Let's start with the walk-in closet. Would you agree that? Can you guys see my screen? Nope. Sorry, let me try that again. How about that? All right, starting from the granny flat. And I'm going to start from the granny flat and make it really, really easy and kind of what I'm looking for and so on. Agree that there needs to be a light in the walk-in closet. That's an easy one, right? So there has to be a switch somewhere to turn on the light. Obvious, right? Do we need any outlets in the closet? Probably not. I mean, in theory, but not really. Yeah, so I'm not going to worry about that. So let's start by putting in a light. Now, I don't know whether there's a ceiling in here or not. So the first thing you're going to have to do is just kind of verify that you have a ceiling in there. Because if you don't, the light's not going to attach. It should look something like this. If you have that, you're good. Some of them will be dropped as well, like in the bathroom. I think we dropped our ceiling in the bathroom. So if I go to the bathroom, so to speak, and go to the view, remember how we dropped that ceiling in the bathroom? So, wherever it happens to be, it's all good. All right. We just need to have a ceiling in there to attach the lights and stuff too. Okay. So back we go to the floor plan. Let's start with a switch. I think we already kind of put switches in this thing already, did we not? Right, like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and right click and create similar. I'm going to put a switch. Where should I put that switch? Probably right here. Agree? Because I want to open the door and then kind of just have a light in there. So far, so good. All right. Then what I want to do is I want to put a light in here. So let's see. Want to go to ceiling plan level 1. So you can see that I've got a ceiling there. And let's go ahead and plop in a light. Place component. Watch where I'm going. Load family. I'm going to go to the Revit families folder, the plus. We're going to go to lighting. And on this particular one, I would like you to get a faced base recessed light. I'm specifically telling you what I want in that closet. Just get any one of these, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and take that second one there. And what this is a can light, basically. It's a one that recesses up into the ceiling. So we don't want a ceiling dropping. We don't want a light dropping into our closet. We want it to be recessed into the ceiling. I'm going to place this on the face. Now watch this. You've got to place on face. Don't do vertical face because I'd put it on the wall. And I'm just going to plunk it in. Let me just show you in the section view what that looks like. Let's go back to the section. I'm just going to slide this over here. Just want to show you what it looks like here. So it kind of goes up into the wall. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but you have to kind of screw those little lights in. They kind of go up into the ceiling. You might have some maybe in your hallways, closets, maybe even kitchens and stuff like that. That's specifically the light that I want in that ceiling. So I'm going to do this in steps here. So I would like you, just what I showed you, I'd like you to put the switch somewhere leading into the closet. And I would like you to go to the ceiling plan, and I'd like you to put the light on the ceiling. I'm kind of going somewhere with this. So if you could do that first step, we've got a process. That's not bad. all I need is the switch and that one ceiling light in the closet. Yep. It's under their plus Revit families, lighting, and then I think it says ceiling based, recessed, or something like that. Look out. So I might have something that looks like this on the, I'm going to notice I'm in the ceiling plan. It might be the same thing if I went to the floor plan, over in the master bedroom. Agreed, I have a walk-in closet, right? So that I would have a switch, create similar, I don't know, anywhere on the outside probably, right? And then I would, once I've got the switch for the closet, then I would go to the ceiling view, knowing that my closet is here, and I would do that same light. I'm going to go ahead and show you where it was. Component place, load family. I went to the plus Revit families. I went to lighting and light face-based recessed, and then just grab one of these. Now remember, when you put them in, sorry, that went to the switch. It was already there. That's why I was doing that. Let's see, where's it at? Sorry, I forget what that thing was. It was ceiling based lighting fixture DCF. I don't know where the thing is. If I pass it, let me know. Lighting fix, oh, there it is right there. Oh, DCF, duh. Okay. So remember, it's going to be place on face. And again, on the ceiling, if there's a ceiling there, it will attach. If there's not a ceiling there, you need to put one in. Okay. All right. So far, so good. All right. Then what you're going to do, what I'd like you to do next is I'm doing this kind of step here. I'd like you to create a new floor plan. So I'm in level 1 right now, right? Level 1. I'd like you to make a duplicate of that. So I'd like you to clone it. I'm going to duplicate the view with detailing. I'm going to clone it. It's the same thing. And I'd like you to rename it. We only have one level here, so we're going to just call it electrical plan. Okay. Could you do that for me? It's going to make a new plan. It's called an electrical plan. And it's going to be duplicate of level 1, but exactly the same. All right. Got an electrical plan? Okay, here's where it's going to get a little funky. All right, watch out. Okay, I'm going to go to the electrical plan. What I want to see is I want to see the switch, and I also want to see the light, but can I? Can I see the light on the ceiling from the floor plan view? And you're going to go, no, Mr. Brown, because you're looking up when you look at the ceiling and you're looking down when you see like the floor and stuff, right? We can't see the light, but there's a trick. And this is what you're going to do. On the electrical plan, you're going to come over here to the properties. And you're going to see this place where it says underlay. See it right there? And you're going to say, it says range base level, none. I'd like you to change that to level 1. And then I would like you to underlay orientation to look up. What that's going to do is it's going to give you what's called an underlay. Can you see it? It's kind of soft. It's a little bit not easy to see, but it's there. Move this off to the side here. You'll also notice that we see it over here. So again, you're going to go to the electrical plan. You're going to come over here and you're going to set the underlay. You have to change it to level 1, and then you're going to look up right there. So I'd like you to do that and then verify that you can see the light. Do you see the light? Anyone not see the light? Okay. So once you see the light, watch out. We have to show the switch connecting to the light. I'll just move this out of the way here. So here's the switch and here's the light. I have to show that that switch controls that light. And this is the way you're going to do it. You're going to go to this, and remember, you're in the electrical plan, not in the floor plan. Okay. You're going to go to Annotate, Detail Line, and you're going to be using this one right here, this hidden with the little brackets on it. Now, these are going to be dashed lines. I'm going to do an arc, start, end radius. I'm going to just pick right there, click, click, and then just give a little arc there. Don't make it straight. Make it just a little bit of an arc. Don't go like that or anything. Just a little soft arc there, just like that. Hit escape once, and you have connected the switch to the light. Going to come over here and do the exact same thing. Annotate, detail line. I'm already in that. Let me escape. Detail line. You could have kept going, obviously. Hidden. Remember, it's the hidden one here, not the hidden lines one. It's this one. These guys are green. Just let me show you what they look like. You're not going to use this one, but if you do use this one, do you see how they're green? So I don't want you to use those. Use the one with the hidden. So it's detail line. Use the one, just the regular hidden. Use the arc command, this one right here on the left. It's a pick the start, pick the end, and then just slide arc it, just like that. Got it? I'd like you to do just those two. Just going to kind of get this thing started. All right, we got a connection. And watch out. Now I'm going to just do this part of the demo, just maybe thinking that maybe some of you don't have every ceiling put in and what's going to happen if that happens. You just go to this bedroom right here. I think I might have the ceiling in, but I'm just going to go ahead and break it for a second here. I do have the ceiling in, so I'm just going to go back and refresh your memory on how to do this. So right there's the ceiling right there. I'm going to delete it. Okay, there it is. It's gone. So if I go to the ceiling view and I try to put in one of those lights that I just showed you, create similar, and I try to place it on face, any idea where that's going to go? Click. It doesn't look the same as the other one, does it? What in the world happened? Well, let's find out. Let's cut a section right through that light. That's the bedroom, right? Go to the view. So just found the surface that it could find. What did it find? It found the roof, and that is definitely not where we want it. Okay. Sometimes it'll find the floor, it'll wherever it goes. It's not going to go where you want it to go. So if you don't have a ceiling in there, then you need to. So let me pick that and delete it. Okay. So if you didn't make a ceiling in, you can do this wherever you want. I'll do it right here. Is just keep it simple. Just architecture, ceiling. If you recall, we put in either this one if we're dropping the ceiling, or this one if we're just going to attach it to the bottom of the main ceiling joist. I'm just going to drop this one in, and you can see it's going all the way through the closet and stuff. That's fine. Go ahead and click once. Hit escape a couple times. Let's see where that turned up. And it turned up in 8 feet or something like that. So now we just need to attach it, right? So we'll just use the align tool. Oh yeah, that's right. And just get it to the bottom of that ceiling. Okay. If you don't have this ceiling in, this main ceiling, you might want to do that. Just get it in the entire building. If you recall, that was just the 5.5 joist one. That would be really handy to have there. All right. Excuse me. Back we go. I don't want to be in level 1. I'm going to close that. I want to be in the electrical plan. Okay. So let's see. We've got a walk-in closet there. Okay. Now let's talk about the bathroom. We've already done some work here, haven't we? We've got some lights already in there, right? What do we need? Well, we need some switches, right? I mean, because there's lights, but there's no switches. How many switches do you think we need in the bathroom? Probably a couple, right? So chase down the switches here. You can look for them if you want, or you can just take the one that's here. I like doing that. Just sometimes it's kind of hard to pick. That's the only problem. I like unselecting select elements on face, and then you can just window that thing in. Sometimes it's kind of hard to grab. Okay, I've got it. Right click, create similar. Okay, what do you think? Maybe here. Just gonna put a couple of them next to each other like that. So let's see. I need to go one to the fan light and then one to the 2 lights here. So it might go something like this. Let's go to annotate and detail line. It's already here hidden. Let's do this first one here. Let's go from here to here. Just do a little arc. We'll definitely get rid of those tile patterns on this drawing. And then we're going to do this one here. So it's going to go detail line from here. Let's watch where I'm going here. I'm going to do see, that was straight. That didn't work very well. So you got to make sure you're using the arc. It defaults to straight line. Please don't use straight lines. It's really, really hard to grade that way. And the industry doesn't like that either. Give it a nice arc so they're easier to find like that. And then I would take that one and come over here and then do it again. So you can see that they're connecting. You could even, if you wanted to, you could even do it. Oh, I'm not sure if it's going to let me pull it or not. Nope. So I'm trying to pull that, but it's not being cooperative there. If you want, if you're having trouble seeing it, you can also do it this way too. Detail line from here. You can, kind of like that way. And then do the same thing. Detail line from here to here. Keep going to straight line. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing that. Usually it sticks. Like that. Let's get rid of that one. That's awful. All right, I should be able to see this. They're called swings. Going from the switch to the light, and sometimes one switch can control more than one light, which is really, really common. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Do you think we need a light in the hallway here? I don't know. Should that little hallway right there be lit? I'm thinking it's going to be, but it's probably going to be, it's going to be a light that's also in the granny flat area. Does that make sense? So for now, we'll go ahead and take one of these guys and put it in there. So we'll take one of these guys, create similar. I think almost all of us have one of these on the face. And then we're going to talk about the granny flat and how we're going to do that. So we're going to leave it just like that for right now. So could you, again, I'm going to just kind of toggle you through here. Go ahead and get the bathroom set up. So get that switch to the fan light and the switch to the lights. If you don't see those, just kind of wing it, and then you can put those lights in later. All right, switch to light, go. All right, I'm gonna go a little faster, but the concept is pretty straightforward. Launch out. Okay, so agree this is kind of a bedroom, kind of pretty much a living space. I'm just going to keep this nice and simple. I'm going to put in, watch this, architecture, component, place, load family. Let's go back one here to lighting. Let's bring in a ceiling fan. I got a few different ceiling fans in here. They all attach to ceilings. I don't know, whichever one I'm going to grab here. Get open. And I'm going to go ahead and plunk it in. Now, the ones that I'm going to load are not ceiling based. Watch what happens. Click. Now, why did that happen? Well, look at the properties bar over here. What does it say? What does it say? It says 0. What does that mean? It is on the ground. That's okay though. Watch this. I'm just going to go to that area. You're going to go, there it is, right? And you're going to say, okay, I'm just going to move you up to the ceiling like so. No harm, no foul. Now, if I go back to the ceiling plan, you'll see that the light is there. If I go to the electrical plan, you'll see that the light is there. And then you can move it around and all that stuff where you want it. All right. Let's continue. I'm going to, in the kitchenette, this is up to you. I would probably just put can lights in there. Yeah, it's a space. For those of you who I marked down, I said use of space. It really should be a table here. So let me just bring one in really fast here because there's nowhere to eat. So component place. That was one I kind of threw a challenge on you guys, seeing how many people could solve that. And I had a few people who figured it out. And most of you didn't think about that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just get a table here, just a simple one. A little furniture, a little table. I'm just going to get a little dining table, just a little tiny one here. Maybe something like that, just a little one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like that. You know, I don't know, ballpark, something like that. Okay, so if I'm going to put lights in, where do I want them? Well, in the space, right? Probably not above the cabinets, right? But, in this kitchenette space. So let's see, let's go to the electrical plan. I'm just going to go ahead and just put a few of these in. Let's see, create similar on the face. I'm just going to put a few can lights in, maybe here and here. I know they look really big here, but they're really not. It's just the thing you're looking at there. So say something like that. Let's just say. So if I go back to my electrical plan, I've decided that's where the lights are going to be. That's probably fine for that little space. Can lights don't put out a ton of light. So that's actually going to probably be all right. I wouldn't just put one can light. There's really not enough light for that space. Could you have got away with two? Yeah, maybe. We could argue that and you'd probably win. All right. So the question goes is, where should the switches go? Well, when I walk in to here, right, I want to be able to access the light for the main space. So I definitely need a switch. So just kind of watch the tab, 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 tab. I can never get those. See, it just really doesn't like picking the switch. So create similar. I agree. I need a switch right here on the non-door. Don't put it behind the door like here, because then you can't get to the switch when you open the door. I need a switch for that light where it says Granny. I also need a switch right next to it for the light outside the door. And then I have to decide whether I want another one to control the kitchenette or whether I want all of it all on one circuit. I think I might want, whoops. Sorry, I'm not sure. I think I want a separate one for the kitchenette area. So I would want another switch. Create similar, to control the kitchenette, maybe over here somewhere. And then, so here we go. Let's start with the Granny one here. So it's going to be, whoops, detail line. Get the arc this time. Arc, hit escape. And then over here, we're going to go switch. Now what's going to happen with these lights, it's going to kind of go like this because they're all four of them run the same circuit. Just going to wiggle this around. Just a little arc, just a slight arc like so. And that shows that that switch controls that set of lights. So I'd like you to put a ceiling fan, just put one of them in the granny flat here, just in the middle is fine. And then put a couple, 4 lights, 2 or 4, somewhere in that kitchenette area. So you have enough light in the kitchenette area. And then hook them up. Remember, you need to put the lights in the ceiling plan, not in the floor plan. All right, throw save on there. Probably a good idea just to lock in what you've been doing. All right, next, look out. So we need a light for the front, just like a little porch light kind of thing. They call them sconces, and here's what I have. There's a lot of different light families, but I've got a few that are loaded that are fine if you use them. Load family. We go back to the Revit families. We're going to go to lighting, and I'm looking for sconces. I thought I had face-based, light suspended. Let me go back one here. Let's see. What I'm looking for is a sconce. Let's see. Lighting, Kohler, wall, sconce. That's what I want. And there's a bunch of them here. They're basically just wall lights. There's a whole bunch of different ones kind of here. I have no idea what I'm getting in here. Let's find out. Let's see. Sometimes you have to put these in elevation view, and sometimes they go in this way. That looks pretty good right there, actually. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of plop that in the vertical face. That's going to go on the wall. And let's see how it looks. Let's see. So we can go here and take a look. A little low, but that's the idea. Kind of put it up there somewhere, right? About where it would be, maybe even a little higher. Maybe up there somewhere, ballpark, right? So it's going to give it a little porch light. So back we go to the electrical plan. And you see your sconce there, and then we're going to go ahead and connect that switch to that sconce. That's obviously on the inside. So back we go. Sometimes they get kind of close together, and so you have to get a little creative. You need to be able to see it. So if you have to go like this or something like that, then go for it. Just don't go straight like this. Is too hard to see. It's going to go a little farther like that, just so it's easy to see. Makes sense? So you need to have a switch attached to the light. Now, since I already have that there, agree that that might not be a bad thing to have there as well. Just bring in a different one. Let's see what we got here. Component place, load family. I haven't looked at these sconces yet. I just kind of grabbed a couple. Let's find out what they look like. Ooh, that's got 4 of them. Might be that's not such a great choice, but let's just go ahead and bring it in anyway. Make this complete disaster. Where else might I want a sconce? Would I want one near the garage? Yeah, maybe. That's a maybe. Again, that's a really bad choice, but let's just see what it looks like. All right, so let's see. Let's go to the view. It just has, obviously, that's not a good choice. I'm just going to put them all there, show you a little trick here. We'll say, okay, all right. So, we made a choice. It was a bad choice, but whatever. So I put them in there. They're at the right height, but just 4 of them is ridiculous. So let's see. Let's go ahead and load some more. Maybe we get a better choice here. Load family. Let's go back in there and maybe, I don't know. Let's try that one. So if you don't like your choice, you can select all instances, visible in view. See, I got all of them, and then you can swap them out. So you might find one you like better, maybe that. Let's see. I'm not sure what I even brought in. We'll leave it like that for now. And there's probably ones that have one. There's different looks as well. So just remember the word wall sconce, okay? So I would like you, again, as I'm getting this thing kind of together because there's some stuff I want to do to it, but I want to have certain things in place before I do. Go ahead and just put a wall sconce in there. You can swap it out later. Just get one and then get that switch and connect it up. All right. And that's getting pretty close to having this kind of done. Okay, throw a save on there. Again, I'm recording all this, so if you get caught on a part of it, you can always go back and watch the video. All right, you got saved? I should probably do the same. All right, so I'm going to show you just some stuff, and don't even really like, you're not going to have to do this on your model quite yet, but I just want to, I don't know, show you some stuff. All right, so watch out. I'm actually going to close this model just for a second here. And I've got this beautiful, gorgeous building here. I've got a, I guess, call it a tool, if you will. Let me show you a couple things. I'm going to go to ceiling level 1. Watch. I'm going to make a ceiling. You know, ceiling. You guys know how to make a ceiling, right? It's pretty obvious, right? I'm just going to do a 2x4 ceiling in here and plunk. And it's in there. It's probably, it goes in. Mine's going in at 14 feet. I'm going to just put that down to maybe 10. So if I, cut a section through it, it looks something like, let me do it the other way. Let me go this way. Sorry, I'm thinking to myself. That's right. Okay. So it's a ceiling, right? We know how to make those pretty easy, right? There is a way to slope ceilings. Watch this. If I took that ceiling, let me change this so I can pick the ceiling, and I edit the boundary. I haven't shown you this yet, so this is brand new. Sometimes ceilings are sloped. A lot of you probably have that at home. There's a ceiling that's attached to the roof or something like that. It's it's going at an angle, or you have a bedroom and the ceiling, it's kind of sloping, and it might be at the same slope as the roof, which is really, really common. The way we do this in Revit, there's two ways, but basically it's called the slope arrow. So the way it would go is you make this little slope arrow. The arrow part, in this case, it's on the left, is the high side of the slope. Okay, so this thing's going to be angling, if you will. You can angle it by how much you want it to go up. Like I want it to be 1 foot higher on one side than the other, or you can do it by slope. Like if you were trying to align it with your roof, for example. I'm going to go ahead and just do this at a 112 just for the purposes of the demo. And I'm going to green check it. So now it's sloping. So let's see, I think I did want that to go the other way. So let me just make a like that. So we have ourselves a sloping. Remember I told you the high side was the arrow side. And you could change that and make it, a 212, and so on, until you line it up to whatever you want to line it to. All right, so I'm going to put this back to 1 just for the purposes of the demo. All right. So let's say that I have a light that I want to attach to that. I'm going to show you this in a minute here because everybody in the room is going to need this light. And I need to show you how it behaves and then our play on it. Okay. So what we need is what's called a suspended light. We have these ceilings that we don't even have. Remember the high area in our great room and the kitchen, and there's no ceilings in there, right? But we need lighting in there. So we're going to be using these suspended lights. I'm going to show you how they behave and then our play on them, okay? Because there's some trickery here, all right? First off, let me show you how they work. Let's go to the ceiling plan. I'm just going to bring it in here, component, place, load family. I'm going to go back to that plus, go to the lighting, and it's these lights suspended. The one I'm going to probably have you bring in, this is going to be one you probably want to use. I got a couple more here, but that's probably the one you want to use. And so let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to place it on the face, just like we did the other ones. And I'm just going to put in a couple there. There's 1 and there's 2. So if I go to the view, you get something like that. Well, here's the problem. They behave really well, but so I can take these and I can say, I really want them to come down 4 feet. And it's really cool. They come down like 4 feet. So if I was to take you on a drive in here, check this out. Let me do it from I don't know, me just show you an Enscape really fast here, what it looks like. It's actually kind of pretty good. Let's see, Enscape, and let's just run it. Da, 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 da. So there it is, okay? And they produce light. So if I wanted to go to the ceiling plan, for example, and I wanted this, instead of being where it is, to come down, I don't know, 5 feet, then that thing will come down 5 feet. Really effective is what we need for that big lofty room. But what's the problem? Well, the problem is that when the ceiling slopes, like ours is a 412, right? That those linear dropping lights kind of go at a slant. Does that make sense? So that's not really so ideal for us, right? Because if we were going to attach that to the bottom of the roof, they would be coming in all kind of wacky doodle, right? Do you see the problem? It's sort of a challenge. Okay. But the good news is they work really well. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of fake out Revit a little bit. We're going to change this ceiling into, they call this thing called a generic ceiling. It's basically just a basic nothing. Now it still works. So that just wiped out that one light, I think. I'm just going to put that light back in again. Delete. I'm not sure what it did with this ceiling, but let's see. Let's go back and put that in. Component place. There it is. Place it on the face. There it is. Let's see if it goes in right here. It might not because this thing's on a weird slant. I'm just going to make it. I'm just going to get out of this and I'll show you what I want to do. Okay, let's go ahead and close that. And let's open up the model. Okay. Trying to think of how I'm gonna do this. I'll start it right in here. So I'm just gonna put in a fake ceiling. And we could put this at whatever height we want. This great room might have some dynamics in it that challenge us. Let's see what we got here. I just want to see how high it is. So I'm just going to cut a section. I suggest you do the same. So I don't know. It depends on where we put the ceiling. I'm just going to put it in a spot and then move it around. Okay, so just kind of follow the strategy. Let's go back to level 1 electrical. And I'm going to put in just a plain old fake ceiling. And it's going to be this generic ceiling. I'm going to put in it at 8 feet, which is fine, and just sketch it in. I don't know. Let's say, make a little rectangle. I want a light over this area right here. Let's just say, I don't know if that's the right spot or not. Doesn't matter. And green check. So if I go to the view, I have this little ceiling, fake ceiling, just sitting there. So far, so good. Just kind of follow the strategy. It will make sense in a minute. That one is going to be way up here eventually. So watch this. I'm going to go back to the ceiling plan. And you can see it is pretty obvious, right? Boom. I'm going to put that suspended ceiling that I showed you, component place, load family, and let's go chase it down. I'm going to show you where it is again. So it's under the Revit families. It's under lighting, and it's under lighting suspended. I have a few more here, but I think that's the one you're going to want. All right, I'm going to place it on face, and I'm just going to bring one in. I'm just going to show you one, just to keep it simple. All right. Let's see what we got here. Whoops, it went the wrong way. See this little button right there? Now it's going the right way. See that little button right there? Now it's going the wrong way. Okay, and so you can kind of flip-flop them. All right, then what I'm going to do, and here comes the fun part, is I'm going to move it up. up, 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 until it's really where I want it to be. Agree that it's going to be like up here somewhere, right? And then what you have to do is you have to decide how far you want to drop it down. And that's completely up to you. But that light is not in a good spot for you right now, right? It's too high up. So you say, okay, I want that to be, I don't know, what do you think? How far down should I drop it? Looks to me like it's above 18 feet, maybe 10 feet, something like that. 10? Maybe a little more, huh? Maybe 12? So the idea is you get that light to where you want it to be. He pauses. Now, this ceiling is, I'm going to call it a fake ceiling. This thing in theory should be touching the roof. So in theory, yeah, it should probably be right there, attached to the ceiling. Attached to the roof, don't get too in the weeds with that. Okay, don't worry about it. Nobody cares. And then, you might have to go in there and fart around with that a little bit more, maybe get the 13 or whatever it is, right? Until you get the light where you want it to be. So I missed that. Does that make sense? All right. Once you have it where you want it, you should be able to just kind of walk around and just check it out. So if I go into the floor plan, either way, electrical, whichever one, and I was to create a camera view in there, let's just maybe shoot it this way. You're going to see that light coming from up there. Now, what do we do about stuff like this? We just hide it in the view. So we just right click, we hide in view element. I don't see anything. Do you see anything? And we just need to see that it comes from the roof. Nobody's going to document the attaching of it. They just don't do that. Okay. They just need to show that it's coming down and that the light needs to be where it's supposed to be. Now, that said, you guys need that same play probably in the kitchen too, huh? So remember, in the kitchen, there's no ceiling here, right? So I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to turn you loose on this one. So I like to start by just putting the ceiling in. You kind of know about where it's going to be. It doesn't have to be perfect. Ceiling. I'm going to use this kind of fake ceiling here. Sketch it in. Make it as big as you need it. If you need to make little ones to connect them all up, that's fine. Whatever works for you, as long as it works for you. I know 8 feet's a silly number. That's going to be way too low, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to take that light and create similar. I'm just going to drop it on there. It's probably, it could be going the right way, or it might not be going the right way. And you might have more than a few of these going in your kitchen. You decide where you want them to go. Obviously going the wrong way. And remember, I left my thing on like 13 feet or something like that. So I'm just going to flip it around a little bit. Now it's underground. So now let's go ahead and move that ceiling up. You see where I'm going with this, folks? Just move it up, move it up, move it up. Now you might, the ceiling's not in a great spot here. I really want to move that up straight up, kind of all the way up to here. So I might want to tweak the shape of that ceiling, or make a couple of them. In the end, don't lose sleep over it. You can edit the boundary. What's that going to be in ceiling plan? That could even be site plan here. And you can just, just rein it in a little bit. So when we go back to the view, let's see, which one was that? That one. So just so the ceiling's not running, through the building. So now we have some lights in the kitchen. Now, are they high enough, or do we want to drop them? And then it's your call. If you want to drop them, then you drop them. You give it a number 15, whatever it happens to be, and let those things drop. Does that make sense? So I'm going to turn you loose on those. I would like lights in that space using the fake ceilings. And those fake ceilings, frankly, they could even be down here if you want. Don't worry about that, because we turn them off anyway. It's just showing that they're coming down from the roof. And just show you just what they look like. And let me get out of this, get back in it. So it would be, we do a camera view really fast, just kind of show you what it looks like. So you're getting something like that coming into the space, because we don't have a ceiling, so we have to have a way to light the surface. Cool. All right, let's try that. A little tricky, but that's probably the trickiest part of this whole thing, and then it gets pretty easy, to be honest. Plus Revit families. And there would be, sorry, blanking on that. Plus Revit families. Lighting, and then light suspended. There's a folder. The first one, do the first one. The other ones are kind of double ones. They're a little more complicated. Yep. You pick the light, and then right there, give it a number. So yeah, bigger. Yeah, right. Yeah, wrong one. So try, I don't know, 8, and then hit enter. Let's see what that looks like. It's getting pretty close. Yeah. That's probably about where it should be, actually, right about there, with the ceiling, right? The in theory ceiling, right? Get too low, then it turns out people hit them with their head and stuff, you know? So yeah. But you also have to be aware that you need to be able to change bulbs and stuff like that too. So if you get them too high, then people have to use ladders to change them out. All right, I'm going to throw one more at you, and then I think most of it gets kind of pretty easy. So save. So one of the issues you might have, watch out, is seeing the ceiling. Because if you put the ceiling really high up, you might not be able to see it anymore. And here's why. I need to explain again how the software works and what happens with ceiling plans. If I just kind of go into the view range of the ceiling plan, cuts it at 7'6", right? Which is kind of up here somewhere. And it goes up to the next level, which is level 2. He pauses. But what if your light is higher than level 2? Well, then you can't see it because it's higher than level 2. And that's what's happening here. You're not going to see anything on there that's higher than level 2. The reason I'm seeing those lights is because I dropped them down, right? And they're under level 2. So how do I fix that? Well, I could look up higher. I want to look as far as I want. I want to look up to the tower. I want to look up to the main building. It's wherever you want to look, right? I'm going to go all the way to the tower, which is pretty high. Do the same thing here. So I'm looking much, much higher. I'm still cutting at the same spot, but I'm looking up higher. If I hit OK, now I'm seeing things that are up there a little higher, but I'm seeing what I want to see. I'm seeing my ceiling, right? So if I were you, I'd be just trying to control these kind of, just enough to hold the light. Don't go too nutso with it. All you want to do is just have barely enough there again to hold that light. So now if I want to do another one, let's say I want to put one maybe over the island or something like that, then I make another ceiling. I could take this and copy it. That would be okay. Or I could just make another one. I think I might just take this one and just make a copy, save myself a little time. You can just reshape it and stuff like that. Now, is that exactly where I want it to be? I don't know. It's probably going to be in the ballpark. I don't know. And you can use the same lights. I'm going to put a different light in this time. I'm just showing you what we have. Load family. Let's go back to that same folder and I don't know, let's see. Let's try that one right there. That one doesn't have a light on it. Let's use that one. Okay. And I got a whole bunch of choices here. I'm just going to use I would use a smaller of these because some of these are really, really big. And I'm going to put it on the face. And you can see what it's kind of going. Let's see what it is right there. Now I have no idea if that's going the right direction or not. We're not going to know until we get a section view. I'm going to do this without seeing the other one there. Oh, let's see. Oh, is it going the right direction? Say no. Flip. So this is kind of the same thing. You know, we want this to be coming down kind of over the island. So you have to kind of fart around with the size. I don't know. Let's see. Cable length, 10 feet. I don't know. So it's just kind of stringing down, it's coming in, wherever it's coming from. If you like this light, then use this light. Now don't go too low. Don't be going, 14 and getting the thing where it's like, going to hit your head on it. People are going to hit their head on that. So, common sense, get it into a good spot. So it's, in a good place for lighting. I mean, in theory, that's a really good spot right about 8 feet right there. That makes sense? And then it just, you can pull that up or whatever. But again, don't worry about this so much at all. I don't care about it, and neither does the industry. Okay, they just want to know where the light's supposed to be, horizontally and vertically. Okay, and then of course, we cut a section. Oh yeah, I got it. You got the suspended light in there. And so yeah, so if you to wrap this part up here, if I went to the floor plan or electrical plan, and I took a little camera shot. Let's just see what we're doing here. And let's run it. For those of you using my model, I've got some stuff I need to fix on this still. I can show you that later. I'm not really worried about it right now, but I want the lighting to be correct. And if the lights aren't in the right spot, we need to move them. And right now, I don't know if those lights are in the right spot or not. To be honest with you, I don't even know if they're producing light. I guess we're going to find out here. Let's see. If I hold the shift key down and the right mouse button, let's change the time of day. Yeah. Nighttime. They're definitely producing light, huh? Okay, that's cool. All right, so yeah, you can see this. So suspended is going to be the way to go, and that's the one that I was showing you a little earlier. If I walk toward it there, you tell me if they're in the right spot or not. Yeah, this one probably should be more kind of underneath here. That's probably a little bit too much in the middle. That's up to you, So you hang them where you want. I think you need these in the main room. You need them in over the dining area. Maybe just one coming down over the table. Probably right. Don't make too much of that. But maybe over an island, you might want to do something like this, over an island, because you're gonna, kind of get a bigger, broader light there. Questions on the suspended ones. That's the most challenging part of this. The rest of it's really pretty easy. Watch. I'm just going to go really fast on this one because this part is not challenging. Each room needs to have a light of some kind, and you can do whatever you want. If you want to put ceiling fans in like we did, and I think that's a good idea, like we did in the granny flat, that's a good idea. You could just put regular ceiling lights in here. You could put can lights in here if you want, completely up to you. And then, where does the switch go? Well, it goes at the door. So if I was to, in this master bedroom, if I was going to put a light in, I would go to the ceiling plan. There's my master. There's my ceiling light, create similar, plop it in. Is that going to be at the right height? It might. If I did create somewhere, it might. I might check that just to make sure. But putting in the lights shouldn't be very hard. I don't need you to get all too creative on that. Yeah, because it came in from the other spot, so it just so happens it's right. And then back to the electrical plan. Take the switch, create similar. You need a switch going in the room. Should just be one. And then you're going to create the detail line. Make sure it's arced. Boom, done. You know, we talked about the bathroom. How many switches in the bathroom? We already have that. There's 2 switches in the bathroom. One for the vanity lights, one for this. If you have another light somewhere else, then you might have to have another switch. That's completely up to you. Should we have a light over the shower? Yeah, probably. We probably should have a ceiling in here and one of these vapor-proof lights there. You know, how many lights in the bedroom? Just one. That's all you should need. The bathroom's kind of already set up. We did this pretty much the same bathroom in the granny flat. Another bedroom. Hallways. So on the hallways, I would do can lights. Now, the hallways are a little tricky in that there's one twist. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to take that can light. Whoops. Let's try that again. May have to tab that. There we go. Create similar. So in the hallways, here's what you want to do. Just kind of put them in spots, space them out a little bit. Let's say something like that. Let's just say, right? Could you have one more there? Yeah, you could make an argument for that, right? Or you could make an argument for moving this a little bit, whatever, right? So you have to have enough hallway lights, you know, to light the hallway when people are walking down. Now, here comes the twist, which I haven't shown you yet. Where's the switch going to be? For that hallway. Say at the end of the hallway, right? Where you're entering the hallway, right? Well, here's the problem. Where are you going to enter the hallway? Are you going to enter it here? Or are you going to enter it way down here? You see the problem? So we have what's called a 3-way switch. Anyone have upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs? So picture upstairs, downstairs. There's a light switch on the bottom of the stairs. It goes up or down. There's a light switch at the top of the stairs. It goes up or down. Up or down doesn't matter. It's not like on or off. Up is on and down is off. It's whichever way it happened to left off. The last person went up the stairs, right? That's called a 3-way switch. It's just the term they use for 2 switches controlling the same set of lights. Hallways have them too. This is a perfect example, kind of a long hallway there, where you don't want to go all the way down to the end of the hallway to turn the light on, right? Because it's dark, right? You want to turn it on kind of toward the beginning of the hallway. So they're called a 3-way. And here's the way you're going to do it. Architecture, component, place, load family. I don't think we put a 3-way switch in here yet. So you can go ahead and get those for my Revit families. And I think it's under electrical. I'm looking for a switch 3-way. And it looks like that. It doesn't mean there's 3 switches, by the way. That's not what that means. It's just a term. It's an electrical wiring thing. Okay. It's not 3 switches. Come on, stop it. So I'm thinking over here somewhere. Yeah, kind of toward the beginning. And I don't know. Maybe should be here, should be over here. I don't know. Just whatever you want to be, right? You know, it's a common sense spot, right? Let's just say. And then you're going to basically hook them up. So it's going to go detail line, hidden arc, and then just start knocking it out. There. A little arc. Little arc. Whichever way you want to go. 3-way switch. Now, some of you may choose to do that on other portions of your model, depending on how you want the lights to go on. For example, if you turn on the lights for the great room here, you might want to also turn them on over here. If you do, do a 3-way switch and use that same process. If you want this all on one circuit, where the dining room goes on and the kitchen goes on, they all go on, you might want to turn them on over here and maybe, you know, somewhere over here. Use a 3-way switch. So I'm going to give you a block of time, pretty much the rest of the period, to basically put the lights and the switches everywhere that makes sense. And if you have questions like, hey, Mr. Brown, I really want to put a blah, blah, blah light in here, then just ask. Got it? All right, I'm going to give you a little window of time to get some work done.